It's all yours.
All right, awesome. So can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So my story, for those of you who don't know me, I'm from the Pittsburgh area, born and raised. I have two beautiful children, number three on the way. I've been married to my husband. It'll be 7 years in April. And my Beachbody story starts before I became a Beachbody coach. So my kids are 17 months apart. My daughter, I got pregnant with her when I was 20, had her when I was 21. 7 months later, I found out I was pregnant with my son. And so then 21, and me and Chris weren't married yet. And we got married, or I turned 22 and then found out I was pregnant with Nico. And Chris and I were planning on getting married that following September. We had to push the wedding up. So pushed the wedding up, got married in April, had Nico in October. And with both of my pregnancies, I was 200 pounds the day I delivered. So I gained 76 pounds with Giovanna and 68 with Nico. I was very big. I didn't know really how to deal with that after having the babies. So I went to the gym, nothing happened. In about March of 2010, I saw an infomercial for P90X. And I said, these people are getting these results. I have been yo-yo dieting. I have been taking diet pills. And that's not good, one, for your body, but two, also being a parent and trying to take care of kids while you're trying to diet. I wasn't even just dieting. I was doing the diet pills. I was doing everything under the sun. So when I saw this P90X, I was like, I can do it at home. I can do it on my own time. Let's try it. So I bought it, and my mom committed with me, and 4 weeks in, I quit. Can't say that I didn't have the support, because Chris supported me, my parents supported me. They knew how much I wanted to kind of lose that baby weight. But at the same time, it was very hard for me to say, okay, I'm going to do this for me, because I didn't really understand doing something for me versus taking care of my children at that time. So I gave up after 4 weeks, didn't really lose weight, went back to the diet pills, went back to the gym. Nothing was happening. So my coach, Katie, had started messaging me about Shakeology probably, I want to say in that summer. But I just told her, I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. At that time, I was living with my parents. We were remodeling our house. I was a teacher. So I wasn't making that much money. Chris was putting every ounce of his time and energy into the house with remodeling. And so I just didn't have the extra money. So I kept putting her off. For 8 full months, she messaged me. Every once in a while, she would just check in, see how I was doing, tell me when she was having specials, when she was giving away incentives, kind of what we do now. And then finally, I saw a transformation on her page that somebody lost 10 pounds with the 3-day Shakeology cleanse, which we don't really promote anymore. But someone lost 10 pounds with it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like if I could just lose 10 pounds, in 3 days, like that's real. Like someone actually did that. And so I said to myself, I've tried everything else. Why not just do it? And she had mentioned before about the discounts, and once again, I just said, I can't do that. I can't commit to being a coach too. So finally I said to her, I saw that transformation. Oh my gosh, how amazing. And she said, you can sign up to be a discount coach and not do anything with the business. So I said to her, yeah, are you sure? Because I really don't want anything to do with that business. Like, I don't want to have to sell to my parents. I don't want to sell to my friends. I don't want to have to sell to people. She said, no, you literally can save 25% off on your Shakeology and get, the results that you're looking for. So I said to her, okay, sign me up. And at that time, she was starting a challenge group, which challenge groups weren't a thing back then. It was just kind of a support group. And so I already had my P90X. I got the Shakeology. Within 2 weeks of drinking Shakeology and doing P90X and having that support group, I was seeing results, and it felt amazing. I felt like a whole new person. I had more energy. I was able to hang out with my kids and run around at the park with my kids. I was able to wake up at 4 o'clock and go to work and come home and work out and not make an excuse to do it. I finally found why I was doing this workout. It wasn't just for me anymore. It turned out it was for my kids as well. So at that point, that 2-week point, I said to her, okay, so tell me more about this coaching thing. I don't want to full on go into it, but I want to tell all the moms out there that I know about what this product is doing, because for me, it is amazing. It is doing amazing things for my body. So I want to share that with every mom out there, because I know how they all feel. You know, we feel frumpy after we have kids, when we have that extra baby weight to lose. You know, anyone that has extra weight to lose and they feel like they're covering up who they are. And I was finally feeling good in my skin. So we did a GSR. She gave me everything. At that time, like I said, old school, before any of the coach trainings we have, any of the resources in the back office, everything was printed. She printed everything out and put it in a binder for me. So I went over that and I started just inviting people. I started inviting all the moms I knew, the people that I knew could really benefit from this business. So in May, we started a challenge group May 1st, and it was anything that you want. You didn't have to be on Shakeology. You didn't have to buy a program from us. You could be going to the gym. You didn't have to be on Shakeology, whatever it was. So we started this group, got as many moms as I could into it. And then I got Melanie Metro. I saw her. She posted about eating celery sitting on her couch. So I messaged her and I said, I have this group going on and you can do whatever you want, whatever program. I see that you're trying to lose weight. So she joined. She burned Insanity off of a neighbor and joined. No Shakeology, nothing. At that point, that we were doing it together. And that's what was amazing about this, because I wasn't where I wanted to be, but I knew that I could support others as we supported each other on our journey. So we did this challenge group. I had probably 10 moms in this group. Everyone was doing things from, the TV workouts to actually buying a program to burning copies of programs from friends or buying the burned copy, because I didn't know any better. And I really didn't care at that point. It was all about having these moms feel as amazing as I did. And so that's how we started. And so Melanie started getting results and started, seeing results, and then she started sending people to me. And I said, no, you can't send them to me. You are inspiring them. You need to become a coach. So for a full 2 months, nothing. And in the meantime, in June, my teaching contract basically was up, and I wasn't guaranteed a position in the fall. So it was either stress all summer, wondering if I was going to have a position in the fall, or it was say, sayonara, I'm not teaching anymore. I'm going to do Beachbody full time. And guess what I did? I said, see ya. Even though we were already living paycheck to paycheck, I was honestly, maybe making $30 a month. I was making nothing with Beachbody. I just knew that there was something different about this. So in June, I quit my job. And then in July, Melanie decided to join as a coach. But before that, when I was doing all my messaging and I was, all of my long paragraph of word vomit that I was inviting, because it literally was a page long of invites, I had sent an invite to Danielle Judd on Facebook, for those of you who don't know her. But I sent her an invite and she was like, I don't want to do that fitness, but what about that business? So that's kind of when I picked up starting to actually talk about the business, was because she was more interested in the business aspect of it than the fitness aspect of it. So at that point, because I was so new to this, I had my coach get in. So me, Katie, and Danny, we met. Katie did my GSR for me. And so she kind of, while she was doing her GSR, she was kind of doing mine too, because like I said, I wasn't in it for the business. So I kind of had to learn how to do those things. And then Mel decided to join. And in the middle of those two joining, I signed my husband up so that I can go Emerald, because I heard Emerald was the next milestone in the business, So at that point, I did whatever it took to get there. So now in July, I have 3 coaches. I'm not really sure still what's going on, but I knew that I had to make this work because I quit my job. We were already living paycheck to paycheck. And I was already inspiring people. And I saw how these women were feeling about their bodies. So in August of 2011, my coach Katie said to me, she said, let's go to Chicago for a game planning event, which is now the 3 Vital Behaviors. And I said, okay. It was an 8-hour drive. We took her car. We split the gas. We split the hotel. We weren't even staying in a hotel at for that game planning event. Lindsay Matway was going there, and she had her in-laws' house. So she offered to put us up. So we said, okay, we don't have to pay for a house. We'll share gas. Let's go. We drove 8 hours. And like I said, at this point, I just knew I had to do whatever it took to work this business, to make it work for my family, because I was already, I had no job, no other job. This was it. So we drive this 8 hours, and I didn't know what to expect. It was my first full event, Beachbody event. And I had no idea what was going to happen. This event changed my life, changed my business, and changed my outlook on the business. I heard from people talking about success stories. I heard people talking about what their business was doing, hearing people talking about what to do in the business. And it really was to share. It was to share, not sell. And it was to inspire. And those were the things that in the beginning, that's all I needed to know. Was I just needed to share what I was doing. And I needed to know that I was inspiring other people. So after leaving that event, I came home, and in the meantime, Chris was not on board. He kind of told me and said to me, like, what the heck are you doing quitting your job? Like, you're not even making anything. You don't know what you're doing. Like, what are you doing? So even when I came back from that event, he just said to me, he was like, okay, so now what? Like, what are you going to do now? And at that moment, I said to him, I need 90 days of 110% commitment from you. You cannot put Beachbody down. You cannot complain about me being on the computer. You have to give me all the support you can give. And he said, okay, I'll do it. And I said, and at the end of the 90 days, if I'm not where I need to be financially, I'll find a job. I'll go and sub. I'll do what I need to make an income for this family. So there were a few times where he would start going negative on me with Beachbody. And I was like, you can't. You're supposed to be supporting me still. And so finally, at the end of the 90 days, I was not close to where I needed to be. I was, again, maybe making $90 a week. But he saw the change in me, because throughout those 90 days, I shared with him what I was doing. I showed him my challengers' messages to me. I showed him the results that my challengers were getting. I showed him the responses that I was getting. So I was including him in the business, not just him seeing me on the computer all the time, him seeing me talking to people all the time, him seeing me work out all the time. Because ultimately, that's what he sees, or that's what anyone else sees. They don't see the actual impact you're making on other people. So when I kind of included him in that, it changed to his outlook on what I was doing. So at the end of those 90 days, when I wasn't where I needed to be financially, he said to me, all right, I see the change in you. I see what you're doing. He said, I see that this is your passion. So let's do what we need to do to get you where you need to be. He said, I'm all in. I'm going to support you. And I won't complain when you're on the computer or when you're doing this, but we have to have some boundaries. So, setting up those boundaries of having 1 hour of just our time, or setting up, time where there was no computer, no electronics. And it was very hard because I was just starting my business. And I felt like I kind of felt like I needed to be 24/7 on the computer or on my phone, taking care of what I needed to be doing. So that January, we packed up my mom's Land Rover, and we drove to Philadelphia for another game planning event. And at this game planning event, I went as a Ruby. We just started a team cup, which I was asked by Lindsay Matway to be on her team cup. So, of course, I was like scared out of my mind because I still didn't know what I was doing in this business. And I kind of had to teach myself. And that's how we did it in the beginning. Because like I said, we didn't have a Coach Basics. We didn't have an Emerald to Diamond training. We didn't have any push groups. We didn't even have the Coach Training Academy, which is now the, just news and training. We didn't have any of that. when I first started. We literally taught ourselves. So we went to this game planning event. We packed our car. We stayed in a hotel. We split the hotel by there were 10 of us. And we went, and I went as a Ruby coach, hit diamond while I was there. We ended up being number one in the team cup. And it was all because I had the support at home, but I also believed in myself. I believed that I was making an impact because other people were seeing my passion, not just the people that I was impacting, but my husband was now seeing it. So that was 2012 in the beginning, January of 2012, hit diamond. And then I said to myself, what now? What do we do? We're a diamond team. We don't know. I don't know what I'm doing yet. This game planning event, again, took so much information out. So then I felt like this was the time that I had to start figuring out this business and taking it seriously. So in 2012, so almost 8 months after I became a coach, is when I really took the business seriously, because I finally saw results. I was seeing all the hard work that I was putting in and everything that I was learning. And now, I think that time could have been split in half, and it could have happened in 4 months because of all the tools and resources we have now. Because like I said, we did it all by ourselves back then. And that's kind of where everything has kind of come from, is seeing what the coaches back then were doing. And so in 2012, I got a phone call from Jeremy Red in probably about March saying, hey, did you know you're on the road to hitting elite? And I was like, what's elite? What are you talking about? I had no idea what elite was. None. I never even heard of it. I mean, I heard that there were elite coaches, but at that time there were 30 elite coaches the year before. I was only a coach for 8 months. I just hit diamond. I had no idea what he was talking about. So we went over the numbers, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm not a numbers person. I can't put a number to my clients. I can't put a number to my coaches. So when he gave me those numbers, I was like, okay, awesome. And so then I said to myself, and I was talking, he was kind of my mentor at that time. And I said to him, well, what do I need to do to just help my coaches and help my team and become a leader? Because that's what you do now. I have people under me. I have to share and teach them what to do. So we kind of, Melanie, Katie, and I still stuck together, and we kind of went at this together. Same things we do now, the 3 vital behaviors, running challenge groups every single month, doing personal development running challenge groups every month, doing personal development every day, inviting to challenge groups, just talking to people, sharing your results, sharing your journey. And that's what we did. So in 2012, I went elite. I was 2-star at the end of the year, but that's kind of just the time that it took me to really find out what I was doing as a leader and how to be a leader and what a leader actually was. Because like I said, when I came into this business, I came in as a discount coach. I came in not wanting to sell to people. I came in not knowing what the business aspect of it was. So when I hit that milestone, I kind of had to buckle up and put my big girl pants on and actually be what I was expected to be. So hitting elite was awesome. Again, like I said, it just happened because I didn't know what it was. My coaches and my team was amazing. I hit Success Club every month. And then in 2013, I went elite again, 5-star. But this is when I was seriously running my business. I was using my business activity tracker every single day, which in 2012, we didn't have that. So what I was doing, literally notebooks of people I was inviting. And I just knew that I had to do personal development. I knew I had to invite into my challenge groups. So these are things that I knew I needed to do. But in 2013, I created a business activity tracker that had all of the things that I did daily and then all my prospects in the bottom. And I still use it to today. But that's when I got serious and I said, okay, I'm a CEO of my business. I'm in the top of the company. I need to know how to duplicate my success to my team. I need to know how to treat my team as a team. I need to know how to train them. So in 2013 is when I really started running challenge groups with my team. doing the things that needed to be done with my team, teaching them the things that needed to be done to move forward in their business. One of the main things in this business as a leader is running training groups, whether it is using the guides in the back office or creating your own. If you want to be the CEO of your business, knowing what you're doing or not, you need to be running a challenge group. You need to be running a coach group every single month. And these are the things that in 2013, after being a coach for almost 2 years, I finally realized that I needed to be doing. So when you hear your coaches telling you that these are the things that need to be done if you want to run your business and be at the top, they're being serious. And the reason why, I wanted to stop here and say this is because if I would have known what I knew, if I would have known back then what I know now and what the resources we have now, I could be, top dog, like those are the things that you have to think of. Like I could have had so much more belief in myself. I could have had so much more energy put into my team to help my team grow faster. So that was really where 2013 took me. And it's sad to even say that it took me almost 2 years to do that because of what we have now, but it's all a learning experience. And if you aren't told what to do, sometimes you don't know, and that's what I had to teach myself. Me, Katie, Mel, we taught ourselves how to become better leaders, what we needed to do, until now all this stuff finally, became implemented into the back office, the coach training, the training academy, which is just the training. I still call it the training academy, but it's just the trainings for each rank. So, and I can't say that it all was smooth. In 2013 was probably one of the toughest years because it was one of those years where you felt like, okay, so now I'm doing the things I need to do to be that leader. I'm showing my team how to be leaders, but what does that mean to push me forward? So it was every year has been a learning curve. Again, 2014, I became elite. I was 7-star at the end of the year, but this was where I started focusing my energy on just my team because I knew that without my team, I was nobody. Like it didn't matter what I was doing each month. It didn't matter what my challengers were doing. It was really about what my team was doing. So if I wasn't helping my team hand in hand, then I was going nowhere. So in 2014, I focused all of my energy on my team. Of course, I hit Success Club every month. I was up until November. I hit Success Club 56 months out of the since I became a coach. So it was all those things that I knew needed to be done. I made sure I hit Success Club. I made sure that I was reading my personal development. I was making sure that I was running challenge groups. But at the same time, I was staying more accountable with my team than doing it on my own. Where up until that point, I was just doing what I needed to do. I was learning what I needed to do and doing the basics with my team, which was running just a coach basics, running challenge groups with them. But now in 2014, I decided that I'm going to become accountable with them because I need them to see the duplication process in this business. Because if you're not doing it, your coaches aren't doing it. And if you're not showing your coaches that you're doing it, they don't know you're doing it. They can assume you're doing it. They can assume that, you are doing everything you need to do, your 3 vital behaviors. But until you keep yourself accountable by sharing it with them, they don't know. So 2014 was all about, again, learning curves, learning how to implement my coach basics, learning how to implement my Emerald to Diamond trainings, learning how to push my coaches to want to reach higher goals. And it came into my focus that it wasn't about what I wanted them to do. It was what they wanted to do for themselves. And it wasn't until 2014 when I decided that or realized that because I was so focused on me and what I needed and what I needed to rank advance or what I needed to do to push forward. Once I started focusing on my coaches and what they needed, I started realizing that I needed to talk to them more. I needed to find out their why. I needed to revisit their why with them. I needed to see what was going on in their personal life, because if I would have coaches that would, jump out of the gates and work the business for 3 months and then die down. But instead of talking to them within those, 3 months and not knowing what was going on in their personal life, I wouldn't pick up with them until they died down. So in 2014, it was, a part of my business activity tracker is checking in with 2 of my coaches every single day, making sure that I'm checking in with them. Check in with your top recruiters, check in with your top coaches, check in with those coaches that are posting amazing posts but aren't getting traction. Those were the things that I needed to I needed to focus on, because that's a big thing in this business. Is if you have coaches that are posting amazing things but not getting any traction or feedback, they're going to get discouraged. So when your coaches get discouraged and you don't know why, it's because you're not focusing on them. So that was all 2014, was focusing on how to track my coaches, how to follow my coaches, how to really help their needs versus what I needed. And then that brings me to 2015, where I hit 10-star, I hit Millionaires Club, I hit Elite again, but my life crashed and burned in front of me. And it wasn't because of what I didn't see or what I didn't want to see. It was because I got caught up in the business. I got too focused on what I was doing in the business, and I felt like the world revolved around me. It didn't revolve around anyone else in my house. And in May, I walked out on my husband. And I felt like I walked out on him because he pushed me too hard. He was never there. He never did anything. But in reality, it was me being blind to what he wanted to see. He wanted to see me become better. He knew I had more in me. But in my mind, he was pushing me because he was comparing me to other people. He was comparing my business to other people. And it wasn't about me and him anymore in our marriage. It was about the business. And I always felt like that. So in May, I walked out on my marriage and my family. And shortly after that, I became pregnant, as most of you know that have been following me. And it was a rough 8 months. My business stayed steady. I did the minimum that I had to do. I was working on me. That was my excuse for the summer. I was focusing on me. I was focusing on me becoming, or finding me. I think that was the term I used. I was finding me, because I didn't do that before. I got so wrapped up in other things. But in reality, I was hurting everyone around me. I was hurting my business. I was hurting my husband. I was hurting my children. I was hurting my family. I was hurting my followers. And that's when I realized that within those 8 months, I realized that I got so caught up in me that I wasn't focusing on the true meaning and reason why I became a Beachbody coach and what I started this business for. And it was to help my family, and it was to help my children feel safe. And throughout those 8 months, they did not feel safe at all, whether they were with me or they were with him. They never felt safe. And that, to me, it was a slap in the face, because I would see how hurt they were, and then I would just kind of say, okay, and I would be blind to it. And then until the end of the 8 months, probably it was about October, when I realized that what I left was all I knew. That's the only thing that ever supported me. Yes, my family and my parents supported me throughout this business and throughout my journey, but my husband was my best friend, and I lost that. And I lost my business because I lost so many people that followed me and trusted me, because throughout the past, from April of 2011 until then, so for a full 4 years, I built this huge business on integrity and trust and honesty, and my open, book policy, where I am so open. Then it just crashed and burned because yes, I was being open and honest, but there was no trust there. Who could trust somebody that walks out on the biggest supporter, their best friend? And people always say, you don't know both sides of the story. Well, I was just being selfish. And I can honestly say that now, because that's how I feel. That's looking back. That's exactly what I was. I was being selfish. I was so worried about me. And I didn't care about anyone else. So those 8 months, so at the end of the 8 months, I realized he's been there. He was there for me all summer. I mean, from the time he found out I was pregnant to the time we got back together to the times that I told him that I hated him pretty much, basically. Never said I hated him, but told him that I didn't love him anymore. He was always there for me. And he was my best friend still. And at one point I said to myself, I miss my best friend. I miss being able to just talk at night. I miss being able to just, talk about my business with him because I had no one to talk to anymore about it. I had no one to talk to about anything. And that's when I realized that I needed to take my blinders off. I needed to open my eyes to what I had and what I was throwing away. And even if my business still crashed, it didn't matter. I wanted my family back together. I wanted my husband back together. And so throughout those 8 months, my business, like I said, just stayed steady. I hit Success Club. I did my invites. I ran challenge groups. Well, no, that's a lie. I didn't run challenge groups. And I didn't run my team calls anymore. I did what I felt like I needed to do for me. And it brought me back to the beginning of this business when I started. I was only doing for me. So once I, took those blinders off and I realized, okay, why did I start this business? And these are going to be my 5 tips to you, because those 8 months of my life were the hardest. It wasn't when I first started, my husband didn't believe in the business and didn't support it. It was from May until like October. So a good 5 months of hell for me, literally hell. And I didn't see it until the end, until I finally said to my husband, we need to work on us. I want to work on us. Do you want to work on us still? And so that's when I went back to why I started this business. So my number 1 tip when you are going through the hardest part of your business or even your life is remember why you started. What is your why in this business? For me, like I said, it was to keep my kids safe, to let my kids know that they can do anything that they ever want to, that they don't have to be restricted, that if they want to do something, they can put their mind to it. As long as they have the passion and the drive, they can succeed. And that has always been my why, to show my kids that no matter what obstacle you are faced, whether it's growing up or through running a business, you can do whatever you want. So number 1 tip is finding your why and knowing it and revisiting it, especially when you are going through the hardest time of your business, of your life. If you're not hitting Success Club, or if you're at the end of the month and you need one more Success Club point, or you just want to help one more person, or you need one more person for a rank advancement, why did you start? You have to know that, and that has to be the heart of your business. And that has to be the core of your business, is your why. Number 2 is focusing on those you've helped and how far you've come. All of my followers throughout that time, I lost, I would say 90% of them, but the other 10% were because because they knew me, because I built that relationship with them. They saw my journey from day one. And like I said, my trust probably was broken with every single person that ever followed me. And I have to rebuild that. But I saw how far I've come in this business and the people that I've helped and the people's lives that I've changed. So that's one thing that really made me realize and helped me focus back to where I needed to go, was because of all the people's lives I've changed and inspired. and how far I came in this journey to just let it all fall apart. Number 3 is knowing this is your passion and what makes you tick. If you don't love what you're doing, then you shouldn't be doing it. And that's in anything, not just Beachbody. That should be your career as well. If you don't have a passion and love it, then it's not where you need to be. And for me, this was my passion. As a teacher, teacher by trade, I love teaching my coaches. I love teaching my challengers how to eat healthier and be a better person. So that's something I love, and I knew that's what I loved. There would never be anything else I would rather do than sit behind a computer and help people learn their lifestyle, learn a new lifestyle, whether it's eating better or helping them financially be able to provide for their family. So you have to know that this is your passion and what you love doing. And if it's not, then you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't, even if you don't know what you're doing, if you still have this passion and this, huge heartbeat that when you wake up in the morning, you can't wait to respond to your messages, then you're where you're supposed to be. Number 4, remember you inspire people even when you don't expect it. So even through the darkest days of my life throughout this summer, I still got messages from people saying that I inspired them by my strength. Even if I was dying inside and I felt like I lost who I was personally, because I shared my story, it inspired other people, which I would have never expected that to inspire people. Like what I did was a train wreck. It was the worst thing that I could ever do. Like I destroyed my best friend. I destroyed the love of my life because I just wanted to be a selfish little brat. Like that's in my head. Like that's seriously how I feel. Like I needed me time. Like who does that, And so to know that my story inspired other people was crazy because I never expected that. So you need to share, even if it is tough times and you don't want to share details, that's totally cool. But know that your story is going to inspire somebody. No matter how gut-wrenching it is for you or how nasty you feel, and you don't have to share it right when it's happening, but remember that your story is going to inspire. So don't ever forget to share where you came from, what got you to where you are. That's what's going to help you during those dark days, because those people are going to help encourage you and support you no matter what. And no matter what's going on in your life, you're going to get people to say, hey, I admire your strength for sharing that. Or I admire how strong you are after all of that. You're going to inspire somebody no matter what. So share your story. Like I said, you can leave out a lot of the details. You can share the details. I'm very open. So everyone pretty much knows what happened with me and my story. So that's that. And number 5 is believe in yourself, because you have followers that believe in you, and I know your upline believes in you. A lot of my coaches, they forget to believe in themselves. And I say to them all the time, why? Why can you not believe in yourself? Why can you not see the worth that you are here to share? No matter what this business can bring for you, if it is just health, if it is just to feel better in your body, if it is financial gain, if it is freedom, it is flexibility, whatever this business can bring to you, you need to believe that you can achieve it. You need to believe that deep down that this business was brought to you for a reason. And now you need to share it with other people, because the people that have come to you have believed in you. You have inspired people. And if you haven't done that, then you need to start finding out why you're in this business. What brought you to where you are, because inspiring other people is from you believing in yourself, believing in what you're doing, believing in the products. And the more you share that, more people are going to come to you, and they're going to start believing in you because they're trusting their life in your hands. So those are my 5 tips: knowing your why, focusing on the people you've helped and how far you've come, know your passion, and knowing that this business is where you're supposed to be. Remembering to inspire people and share your story no matter what, and believing in yourself. And these are the things that you should do daily, but especially during the hard times in your business. Whether, like I said, whether it's something that's life damaging, whether it is something in your business that just isn't going the way you want it to be. These are the 5 tips that got me through. So I really hope that they can help you in your dark days as a Beachbody coach, because guess what? You have them. You never know until something harder comes up, but it's a roller coaster ride, this business. It really is. It's not smooth sailing. It's not straight to the top, just with anything that you do. It's a learning process, and it's definitely a roller coaster. So stay strong and be amazing. Thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you, Nikki, so much. Do you mind if anybody has any questions, if they can ask?
Sure.
Does anybody have any? If you guys have any questions, just unmute yourself.
Thank you, Nikki.
You're welcome.
Anyone?
Yeah, I have a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Nikki, thank you, as always.
Of course.
Is there any particular form of personal development that kind of helped you throughout everything that happened this past summer?
To be 100% honest, I did not do an ounce of personal development. My biggest thing was my daily devotional through, it's called Girlfriends and God. And I would read it every night, but I didn't implement it until the end, until I said, I need to change. So that would be like my biggest personal development was my daily devotional.
Is that an app? Is that something on?
It's actually, if you just Google Girlfriends and God, and it'll come up, the website will come up, and you just subscribe. Every single day you get an email.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else? Okay, well, I don't want to keep Nikki anymore because she gave us enough of her time. Nikki, I appreciate you more than you know. And I just want to reiterate that everything you said about your why is just, it honestly, you guys, it is so true, because I preach it to my team constantly that, during the tough times, there's been times I messaged Nikki and said, I'm bawling my eyes out. I'm over this. I just can't do this anymore. And she just literally says, shut up and just do it. And, remember why you started doing this. And I tell my coaches all the time, you guys come back to this all the time. There's a reason that something is keeping you here. And that's what you need to figure out, and you need to pinpoint. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you, Nikki, again for joining us. And I appreciate everybody getting on. Thank you guys so much. And you all have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.